What's your relationship with Dwayne today?
So I would like to think, in my perspective, that we always have been good, except for one little patch where I really messed up. I got selfish, and me being living WWE at the point and not having any concept of growth or someone else's perspective, I took Dwayne's comments as not genuine. And my view was, if you love something, be there every day.
Right. What
a hypocrite I am, because I still love WWE and I can't go all the time. And I just didn't see that. I was so selfish. So I had his number and like we could have talked about it. Instead of going like, hey man, I'd like to try to do this thing to hook you back in and maybe we can collaborate and really make it big. I was just like, F this, I'm just calling this dude out. This is a moment. He gave me an opening. I'm gonna kick the door in. And I was diligent, and I understand why he got upset, because he's changing the perception of the industry. Him, Dave Bautista, they've made it okay to be in WWE. WWE has had that like carnival performer stereotype, and pro wrestlers have had that like carny stereotype for so long. And these guys are breaking down barriers and shattering ceilings, and on top of that, just transcending the art form. And I just got selfish and wanted a main event marquee match because it would better what I thought was the business. And that's so short-sighted and selfish. It worked, but it worked at the cost of two people who communicated and almost put it in jeopardy. And there was a moment where there was a lot of bad vibes between us. And rightfully so, because Dwayne came back and he wanted to give to the business openly and as what he could. He has a great perception of WWE and understands that you build equity, you go something else and you pass the torch. You give away all of your electricity, as he would say. And he was trying to do that on his own terms, and I wasn't having any of it. And we made some great TV, so much so as that one dude wants to see it again. But it was almost at the cost of our friendship, which I would like to say now is in a really good place.
How hard was it to rebuild that friendship?
Well, I think step one of any conflict is to somehow find your fault. It's my fault. And I knew exactly what I was doing. And I also knew that I had to punch up to his level. He came in a league of his own. And to make sure that it's like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, I gotta be Mike Tyson. And Rock was like Ali, and I was like some scrub like Glass Joe from Punch-Out. You know, like I had to punch my way up. And I had to do it by really, really blurring the lines of collaborative work, which is like, if we're in the WWE and we have a match, I assume that we're gonna perform just like stunts in a movie. And our concern is to safely do the show. That's the magic. And the magic is to be able to do it again and again and again. And you trust your performer. Nothing's different when you verbally have issues with each other. It's all in good fun and it's all for the business, but you're supposed to have trust with each other. And I violated his trust. And as soon as the event in Miami was over, and I think then, and I'm thinking for Dwayne, but I can only think then his perspective began to be like, whoa, first of all, I lost. I finished second.
Well, oh, okay.
And second of all, I tried to lose with as much humility as possible. There's an iconic shot of me on one knee, just with the WrestleMania garb around me, and me with the worst look on my face, like I just lost the biggest moment of my life, which I did. And then right after that, the first thing I did was I went to Dwayne's mom and I gave her a big hug and I said, I know you were brought up in this business. I hope you can understand my perspective, because I said some bad things to make you feel bad about me, and I said some bad things about your son. And I hope with what you just saw in our performance, you understand that my goal was simply to sell tickets and do business. And she forgave me right there. And then as soon as that embrace broke, it was right at Rock's dressing room, and I went right into Rock and I said the exact same thing. And it's only when we started the build-up for New York that I got to look at myself in the mirror deeper and was like, I was wrong. not only did I hope he understand my perspective, but a year later, I knew that my perspective was wrong. And yes, it worked, and yes, we sold tickets, and yes, people loved it, and they chose sides, and it was a real polarizing event. We could have done that with everybody working together and playing nice. And that was my fault.